We are back with another episode of Knowing You. This is my new fun way of our Highly Perceptive People Academy Empathic Community to get to know one another on a deeper level. And so periodically, I'm going to have some guests that are going to share some awesome things that are happening in their life personally or professionally. If you want to be one of my guests, then reach out to me and we'll work something out. So today I have Anna, who is a close friend of mine, Anna Lung. She's up in Vancouver, Canada, and she's been doing some really beautiful community service work, which we'll talk about here in a moment. But I always like to start these interviews on more of like the get to know you kinds of questions and feel into your values, because as people, I think it's important for us to look deeper than most people do, especially in the empathic community, because we're such feelers, we feel people's energy even before we talk to them. So Anna, say hello.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Tiffany.
Tell me a little bit about you and what's happening in your world. Tell us about you as a mom. Tell us about, things that are meaningful to you.
Yeah, well, I am very blessed and I have a beautiful 8-year-old son. His name is Alex. He is, to me, a complete angel and one of my favorite people on earth, including you, Tiff. And I work full time. I volunteer with a number of organizations. I take tons of courses, and just for work itself, I work probably between 50 and 70 hours a week. So it kind of gives you a bit of context of how my schedule is. And oftentimes I'll be up from about 5:30 in the morning. My days usually go until about midnight or 2. They're fairly long days, but really something that I value most is really being present in life and just allowing whatever opportunities to show up if I resonate with it and there's discernment that's used that it is the right thing, then I will just do it. And that leads to the food hampers and how they happened. But I'm going to let Tiffany ask the next question.
What else is meaningful to you? Like what lights your heart up?
Yeah, well, let's see. The most important and most meaningful things in life to me really are God and having a chance to be connected to God and also doing God's work whenever possible. And just really being love and light for people and just really demonstrating a lot of those different qualities that people I feel turn to God for, like being accepting and kind, forgiving, compassionate, and just really non-judgmental. So I really feel that I incorporate all of those ideals into pretty much everything that I do to just really create the space of safety and love for everyone.
That's beautiful. And what are your favorite types of service?
The short answer is everything.
Because I know that you are a service girl. Like, we have done service together over the years, ever since we met each other. That was like one of the things that we really gelled with and clicked with. So tell everyone, what do you love to do for service?
So I always look at what's the opportunity. And I like to take the opportunity in every moment of life as much as possible. Like last night around midnight, I was standing on a dark street by myself out in the cold because I was waiting for someone that I took to the hospital because they had an appointment. So there I am standing in the dark talking to the stranger. And he's sharing with me how he's overweight and he feels that he has 120 pounds to lose. So I'm like, well, can I share with you my favorite tips? Because I've actually gone ahead and released quite a bit of weight, probably over 70 pounds already, and on my destination to be at my ideal weight. So I've done a lot of discovery, a lot of learning, a lot of healing. And then I even gave him some food that would help him on his journey. So that's just one example. But then I also, my favorite way to provide service though, is I like to support nonprofits and charities so that they're more effective and efficient, so that they get to do the best work that they can So that's my favorite way because I like to be properly and fully used. But then once again, I always just go to whatever is happening at the moment. And I probably volunteer with over 20 organizations throughout the year. Like there's just so many different projects impacting like seniors and children and homeless people and like women shelters, like just pretty much all client segments across all local cities. I was also looking at some international opportunities. So lots of different projects.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And tell us about your food hampers, what you've been specifically doing to help feed families in need during this COVID crisis.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that.
So I'm in a few Facebook groups that are specifically there to support people during the COVID crisis. So it connects people who are offering help and people who are requesting help. So one of the groups that I'm in has 2,400 members in it. And I'm also in a single moms group that has about 10,000 members. I'm also in a Christian singles group as well that has maybe 400 people in it. So different groups. And I could see that there was need. So one day I'm just grocery shopping after work. It's like about 10 or 11 at night. And the first time I see that there's actually food on the shelves and there's no limits to what you can buy, I'm like, okay, great. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to fill my cart with 10 of everything. So that was the first set of hampers that I did. I just posted it on one of the Facebook groups and then distributed those hampers. So the beautiful thing is, even from week one, I already had a volunteer. And moving forward, at week two, I already had a corporate sponsor. So I went to the store to do reconnaissance work to see what kind of food they had so I would purchase from them the next week. All of their staff stopped what they're doing and then they helped pull food. And then I went to pay and they refused payment. They donated all of the food. So almost an entire carload of food, actually. And by week three,
Wow.
I know by week three, I had a second corporate sponsor, which is Key West Ford. So they're actually a local popular Ford dealership, and they would help provide transportation and also volunteers and space. They also provided boxes. They also provided hand sanitizers for all of the hampers, which is about $20 plus for each hamper alone. And it's because my car is just really small. By week two, we had to get the last bit of food by opening the sunroof and getting it in through the top of the car.
And are these really like hampers, like laundry hampers?
Oh, they're just boxes filled with food. And I'll show you some pictures later because you'll see the evolution from week one, where it was still decent because I really wanted to give them something that was like relatively healthy, just like something that would be useful. Like there'd be like peanut butter and like pasta and like all of these different things, and maybe some fruits and veggies. And I tried to buy organic when I could because I really wanted to give people really good food. And in fact, my goal was to give them better food than what I had in my own fridge, which I did on a number of occasions. And by week six, which was actually the last week, I had so much donations that one of the hampers we made for a family of seven filled a table that was 3 foot by 8 feet, just to give you an idea of the scale. And I was getting free range eggs from a local farm, and we're also getting milk from a local dairy. Like I was just really going out of my way to get the best food possible for them. And then there was like donors and volunteers, and I even had a mentor to help get charitable status and also a charity to be the parent charity to support me in that by week four. So it's just like really mind blowing actually to see how fast all of it expanded. And I'm just really present to that. It was because I was working in alignment with what God's plan was rather than resisting it, rather than doing it myself. Because usually I like to do things myself. You know, it's a little bit easier to control that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just really great along the way, every week learning the lessons and adjusting and getting more effective. And so by week six, I made the decision to stop doing the hampers because I was clear that that was the message that I was getting. So 6 p.m., I told a friend, you know what? This is it. I'm not doing hampers anymore. At 6:05, I was on a call with a friend, and then we're discussing another nonprofit that I was invited to be a part of, and that there was potentially going to be an opportunity for us to work together, which would massively expand and explode that other nonprofit. And I'm like, this is clear that I should not be doing the hampers because this is something that's actually already done by many other groups. So I'm going to support them to be more effective, give them all the contacts that I made and all of the ways that I found to be really effective in our spending for our groceries. Like we were literally giving away maybe $3,000 to $5,000 of groceries every week. Like just to give an idea of scale, we're not just giving like a couple of things. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
give me your wish list and let's see what of those things that we can fulfill for you. and also
And
tailoring it to the size family. Yes.
so how many families have you fed?
I actually can't give you the exact number because my Excel spreadsheet decided to stop working, but my guess is it would be up in probably about 200, I think, but I don't know the exact number. Maybe between 1 and 200, something like that. And it's just incredible. Like the number of people each week would probably be something between 20 to 70 people a week as well. So it's like quite the scale.
And if someone, so obviously you've got something great happening in Vancouver, and I've got a couple of questions. So one, if somebody wanted to support the food, providing that you and the nonprofits in your area are doing, what would be a good way to do that?
I would suggest that you contact me directly. And I actually suggest people do that if they have any interest in donating or volunteering, because I'm in contact with so many different groups. So I'm probably a fairly decent resource just to find what's the best fit for your interest, because I volunteer with so many groups. I can't even start to explain. Like it's, and for your local area, I would say follow what's in your heart because that will show you. And I would also look at what I looked at was Facebook groups because a lot of local areas will have a COVID group, and that would be a good place to see what is being offered and what the needs are. Because really, there's so much discernment that's needed, and that was such a good lesson for me because I had donors' money, right? And I had corporate sponsorship. I'm like, I need to be very careful with this money. Like, forget that it's my money as well. I'm also careful with that. But I'm like, I have people to be responsible to. I have people to report back to. I also crunched the numbers and told them, like, you donated this amount of money. This is how many hampers you provided. This is a photo of the hamper that you provided, so then they would know exactly what they got. And I also got a lot of thank you letters and impact statements from the people who received the hampers, anonymous, of course, because we want to be respectful for people. Um, but just really follow your heart, but make sure, well, not make sure, but I would invite you to really be discerning, because sometimes there are people who are just asking for things simply because they're asking. So in my post, I would say, this is a stopgap measure to assist people who are having food security issues despite existing programs, such as the food bank. And when
Mm-hmm.
people would contact me stating that they're interested, I would ask a number of questions like how many people are in your family, any food sensitivities, and also are you attesting that you actually have food security issues despite existing programs such as the food bank? Because I really wanted to make sure that this help was going to people who need it. Because honestly, I'm a single mom as well. It's not like I'm flush with money and I can just give money to whoever. And even if I did, the intention of the program is only to support people that despite existing programs, they just can't get the help they need. Because for anyone
Mm-hmm.
who's accessed the food bank, there are restrictions to the number of times that you can go and also when you can go. So sometimes it's just not going to be enough to help people. And I'm like, those are the people that we need to get to. That was the intention of the program. And there were some people who I had to ask like 4 times. I'm like, I'm not trying to be mean, but I need you to attest that this is in fact the case. So it's like really getting that balance between being generous and also making sure that it's actually fair. Because then if I gave a lot of resources to people who didn't actually need them, it means that those who need them can't access it.
Mm-hmm. And about a month ago, maybe a little longer, I contacted some shelters in my area. Like I wanted to donate some food, but they actually wouldn't take it. Like because of COVID, they wouldn't take food, they wouldn't take clothes. So there's really a lot of red tape and so I was left with just donating money, which is fine. I wanted to do other things, that were more personable. So I went around and well, first, uh, I'll back up a second. There was a lady in my Nextdoor app, the community that's like right around you. It's a social network for you and your neighbors. And she was sewing face masks by donations. So I said, I want to give out a bunch of face masks to homeless people. And I paid her to, make me some masks. So I just started going around and seeing homeless people on the side of the road. And obviously I'm wearing my mask and my gloves. And I just rolled the window down and was like, would you like a homemade mask? And just giving them the mask. And some people like giving them, food that I couldn't give anywhere else. Right. And so we just have to be resourceful. If we've got a heart to give, like find ways that we can give that's safe and COVID friendly at this point. And I want to commend you, Anna, for all of the good work and good deeds that you're doing. Do you mind showing us some of those pictures? Can you share your screen again and I can upload it?
Mm-hmm. I would love to.
Okay.
Just a few of the photos, but it just gives you an idea.
Okay.
Is it showing now?
Yes.
Okay.
You might need to click on the photos individually so we can see them larger.
So here's the week 1 hamper. So you can see it's got some staples in it.
Uh-huh.
And let's see if I can get to, I think this one is the week 3 hamper. So you can see each week they're just getting larger and larger. And you can see we've got like organic hemp hearts and like couscous and just lots of beautiful, healthy food. And this is just one of the weeks where you could see that we're actually building the hampers in a parking lot. That was before we had Key West Ford as our sponsor. That was
nice.
the week that food had to fit into my car.
I sure wishing you had an SUV or minivan.
So many times I've said I would really love to have a truck. I think I need a truck. And this is just a sample of a food hamper I made because a friend of mine texted me saying, I saw a family begging for money. And I'm like, oh, I happen to still have food in my car. And this is the hamper that I made for another family when I was just driving.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah. And then that's just a picture of some of the hand sanitizers that they gave us, Key West Ford. I wish I had a photo of the week 7 hamper to show you guys. It's really quite astounding, the amount of food that there was.
Wow.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the photo didn't seem to load properly. So.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's
you
great.
can also see we did some hampers with plants and seedlings as well. Sorry, seedlings and seeds.
Uh-huh.
So that was another one so that we can encourage more food security for people. And there were just a lot of full shopping carts like this. That would be like the scale, just to give an idea, it would be like 8 to 10 different grocery shops, each like this, or even more. Like we would just take out cases and cases of food. It was like so much food you wouldn't even believe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good job, Anna.
Thank you.
Really great. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you for your mentorship and healing and just all of your insights, because I'm clear that I wouldn't be at this space without you.
Oh,
So
my
thank you.
pleasure, honey. And if someone wanted to contact you, what's the best way to do so?
Please send me a message on Facebook under Anna Lung. If you search under Anna Lung Vancouver, then you should find me. I'm wearing a blue dress.
Can you maybe put it in the post?
I will put it in the chat, and I will also put it in our Facebook later. So then under the video, does that work?
It didn't post. Can you try that again?
Okay. I am going to find us in Facebook and I will tag our post with me. And I'll welcome
Nice.
any questions.
Okay. Well, I hope that this inspires our heart-centered, empathic, kind, loving, generous folks to do more good in the world. We need good in the form of action, not just with our prayers, which is very powerful, but also with our action, with our thoughts, with our words, with our deeds, infusing it with love and goodness and generosity. All right. Thank you so much, Anna. Have a wonderful evening. And bye for now, everyone. Oh, and Wednesday at 6 o'clock Pacific time, I'm going to be doing another live stream to bless humanity. So please join me in the same Facebook group, Highly Perceptive People Academy. And we will be live streaming that. And if you want to participate directly with me, then you can join me in Zoom. So those are your options, or you can watch it being live streamed on YouTube, my YouTube channel as well, for Highly Perceptive People Academy. So have a great weekend. Let's all do some wonderful prayers and world service for humanity. Amen. Bye-bye.
Bye.